Oh, hey. I didn't notice you there. Because you're not there, but there's a camera there to represent you. Anyway, I'm Danny. This is Southern California Comics Weekly Video Update, in which I, and I alone, for now, talk about the latest and greatest in comic books. The comic I'm holding right now is one of the many books that came out this week that are notable. This is Munchkin number 2, actually, because I forgot to talk about number 1. I didn't know it came out. I'm sure a lot of you play Munchkin. It's the sort of role-playing inspired card game. It's got best of both worlds. If you like your CCGs, your collectible card games, and your role-playing games, this combines it. But this is a comic book based on the world of Munchkin. Sort of fun comedy, presumably all ages. It's got a story by Jim Zub of Skull Kickers fame. And for you Munchkin fans, it comes with a free card. Every issue has a free original card that you can only get from this Boom Studios comic book Munchkin. So there's that, if you're into that. I like Munchkin well enough. I don't play it all that often, but it's fun. Yeah, anyway. Now for the opposite of that, Suiciders number 1 from not Image, but Vertigo Comics. Lee Bermejo and Matt Hollingsworth, who's the colorist. Lee Bermejo's doing it all by himself. You might remember him from the Joker comic that Brian Azzarello did, or I think he did the Luthor one too, Lex Luthor. Graphic novel type thing. Well, this is Suiciders. It's sort of a futuristic gladiatorial combat thing. You may have seen previews of it in some DC comics lately. It's got a guy who looks like Midnighter and a guy who looks like an Attack on Titan. That's kind of cool. And they fight. You can assume that this is dystopian. That there's a yo, this is dope. I'm gonna show you this. Like the big lights say kill, and the little word bubble says it's art. So a little bit of maybe a commentary on superhero comics. I don't know. It looks like fun. Looks violent. Should be into it if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, new number 1s. This is a week of new number 1s, as many weeks are. But this one, we have Prince Valiant number 1 from Dynamite. I believe Dynamite's got sort of a relationship with King Feature Syndicate, I believe, who puts out all them comic strips. This is, yeah, they got Mandrake the Magician, they got Flash Gordon, they got a few other ones. This one is Prince Valiant. It's drawn by Ron Salas and written by Nate Cosby. And it is a pretty comic. Just high fantasy. Not even high fantasy, just medieval drama. There's a cave. Some really nice vistas. You might describe them as sprawling, as I often do. Yeah. Prince Valiant, come get it. Why wouldn't you? I remember the cartoon. What I don't remember is the show Orphan Black, but it's a show that people like, as I understand it. This is Orphan Black Sarah. I don't know if that's the one-shot. Well, it's just Orphan Black number 1, actually. I think the creators are involved in it. I don't know if this is on Sci-Fi or BBC. I honestly cannot tell you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't watch or know anything about Orphan Black, but there's a comic book out for those of you who do know about Orphan Black, which is cool if you're into Orphan Black. What I'm into is Criminal, the comic book by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I'm into it, even though I had to look at the names on the cover. That's bad, but I do like this comic a lot. This is Criminal Special Edition. This is just a $5 one-shot full of stories. I'd say they take place in the criminal universe, but they don't really, because Criminal's not really a continuous comic. Like, each criminal story is just a crime story, unrelated to the next one. I really like yeah, so here are the various criminal stories, all basically unrelated. I really like this one, The Last of the Innocent. That's a really great one. Just crime, noir type stuff by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. If you've ever been curious about Criminal and don't want to pay for an entire trade paperback, you should pick this up and check it out. And maybe you'll like it and you'll want to pick up the trade paperbacks. One-shots really work that way for me. They do. That's how I got into Empowered, which I love. A lot of IDW this week. Good for them. Good for them. This week we have Garbage Pail Kids Love Stinks. It is a one-shot. It is suggested for immature readers, which I'm glad they did that. Just a bunch of gross, I presume all ages comics. Some barfing, some Peter Badge stuff in here. Peter Badge? I don't know. But it's pretty great. There's a Shannon Wheeler comic in here. Nice lineup of creators. Yeah, so if you're interested in some gross comics, or if you're interested in the Garbage Pail Kids, pick this up. Alright, man, Archie Comics is getting serious. They're getting adult, straight up. You've read the Archie horror comics. I have too. They're great. Archie is bringing back their Red Circle characters. They have their own superhero universe, in case you didn't know. And, yeah, came out from DC as Impact Comics, and then DC tried to revive them again as Red Circle, but Archie's doing it themselves, and they've got, for Black Hood, they've got Dwayne Swarchinski and Michael Gaydos, which is quite the all-star pairing. And, yep, just dark, sort of Brian Bendis-y, Alex Maleev looking stuff. Yep, crime stuff. This is pretty cool. Anyway, I really like the art there. It's really nice. Yeah, you guys should check this out, because it's going to be like Valiant, guys. It's going to be this, like, underrated thing that will be like, you should check it out. When you check it out, you'll be like, oh, man, they were right. I believe this is considered the first Archie comic to use the F word in it, in case you've been keeping track. So, jump in on that. This is rated teen plus, $4 for Black Hood #1. Alright, I'm very excited this week to present 2 brand new #1s from a friend of mine, Ryan Ferrier. First of all, we have Dave, not D4VE like I call it, because I am a troll. This was originally a Monkey Brain comic, published digitally, 5 issues. IDW is putting it out in print form, so that's dope. And it's got really nice art. The artist's name is Valentine Ramon, who I'm unfamiliar with outside of this book, but it's really nice. Yes, it's a really gorgeous looking book. It takes place on a world where everybody's a robot, and Dave here is just a boring dude, kind of crappy job, and then he gets the chance to save the world. Shocking. It's a fun comedy adventure thing. I really like it a lot, and I'm glad it's out in print, so the comic shop crowd can get a hand of it. Also, he also has a book out from Boom Studios. It's called Stomp. It's by Ryan Ferrier and Devaki Miyagi, who I'm unfamiliar with as an artist also, but his or her art is amazing. Like, oh, the colors by Neil Lalonde are great too. Let's see. This is sort of a girl gang warriors type thing. That should be all I need to say about it, but it's awesome. The colors are dope. Look at that. Yeah. Like, really nice, like, punk aesthetic going on here. I'm really into it. I'm so stoked that this is coming out. So this is probably one of my new favorite books. Guaranteed. That's it for this week. Those were my picks. My main picks, D4VE and Curb Stomp. Love it. Alright, time for a new segment. You guys up for that? I hope you are, because I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, we are back, and I want to tell you about some fun stuff in this segment. Alright. I don't know if you heard about this, but next week, Spider-Woman. Yep, that's the one. This is Spider-Woman #4, but in issue #5, next week, 3/4/15, she debuts a new costume, which is cool and, like, fun looking, and she wears sunglasses, and they turn into, like, a mask, sort of Power Ranger style. It looks like a lot of fun. It's a shame they started with it at #5 instead of at #1. But hey, it happens. Sometimes you make a bad decision. Whatever. Yeah, so I want to talk about a few comic book costume redesigns. Yeah, you want to do that too, right? I hope you do. Alright, so everyone knows Superman, right? Yeah. So, we got your blue tights, red boots, red underwears. I can't point properly, but you get the idea. Big S on the chest. Reasonably coiffed hair. No gloves. Always thought that was a bit strange, but hey, you gonna fingerprint Superman? Probably not. So we got Superman, right? And then they, for like a year, they reimagined him as that thing. Oh my god, that's... Look, it's the 90s and it's pretty sensible. Let's be honest here. Yeah, he lost his powers, tried to get his powers back. The way he got his powers back resulted in him becoming an electric dude. He's like an electric being in a containment suit. Bullets went through him. He traveled through the internet. Pretty fun. It's a good... Sometimes you need a respite from Superman. I think it was just an elaborate way to get rid of the mullet, to be honest. But it was weird. When you read, like, Justice League stories from this era, it's kind of weird to see Superman like that. It kind of ruins it a little bit, but hey, this is what happens when you read superhero comics. Sometimes they're not the way you like them to be. Yeah, that one's fine. Not too bad. My actual favorite one... So Spider-Man, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but one of the best costumes. Webbing thing, blue and red. Always blue and red with the primary colors. So there was some nonsense about clones and stuff, and his replacement, Spider-Man, who was a clone, has a pretty awesome costume, to be honest. To be quite honest. See the web shooters on the front. This is kind of a glove thing. That's neat. The giant spider on the chest. That's pretty cool. This is, again, the 90s. Surprisingly reasonable. Or so we think. This is a really nice costume. Probably one of the better costume redesigns. It seems a bit odd, because we're so used to the original, but it sticks with the classic design, all looking pretty new. Not a bad decision. Let's get to some bad decisions, shall we? Captain America. Another one you cannot mess with this. Red, white, and blue. You know? They messed with it pretty hardcore. This isn't... They kept the scheme, but they gave him, like, a Power Ranger armor thing. Yo, let's bring that close to you. That's ugly as hell. It's, like, shiny. Like, they did this to Booster Gold, too. Like, why do you mess with that? Why do you gotta give a guy armor when you don't need armor? It's not cool. Like, he looks like NFL Super Pro now. To be quite honest, it's bad. I don't know why they did that. I think all his bones fell off or something. Who's responsible for this era? Oh. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Hey, let's talk about Daredevil. Went through a couple costume redesigns. He started with yellow and red, and then went strictly to red, which you cannot go wrong with all red. Really nice. Sort of always stands out on the page, especially in a really dark comic. Like, literally everything is dark on this comic cover. Yeah, Daredevil, cool. They redesigned him, and it's going to be controversial, but it's not that bad. It's a little too busy. It's got those things. I don't know, like padding. I don't know. But sometimes it looks kind of cool. Let's look at it on the inside. Let me find a good one. That's not great. I don't know. It has potential. I think it doesn't feel iconic, but I don't know. The black and the red, kind of a cool idea. Maybe it's a little too much. Like, oh, he has to hide in the shadows. We got to make it black. But let me find. Like, you could do some really fun, moody stuff with that. Like, have only the red show up in the background or something like that. They don't do that in this. I remember they used to do it in the ads, but yeah, let's see. Look at that a little bit more. Yeah, not great, but I don't know. I find it kind of intriguing. Probably because it's, I don't know. It's a dramatic redesign, but he still has the horns. He still has a stick that he hits people with. Still got the red eyes. Not a total loss. Not as bad as the Captain America thing, but a bit odd. Bit of a curiosity from the 90s. That's it for me. This Saturday, it may be too late, but we're having a Mentalist in the shop for some reason, so come check out the Mentalist and get mentalized. It's not the guy from the TV. I asked, and it's not. It's a Mentalist. Like an actual one, not the actor playing the Mentalist from CBS, NBC. One of those. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you later. Bye.